The ice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, bring the ice.
Your hair looks great.
It's wild today, but I think we need to, I have to get some hair stuff here so that before we
should.
shoot these things, you know?
Yeah, even for me. Right,
Yeah.
Omar. I'm always asking
Omar,
if
how
my
you doing,
hair's
Omar?
good. Is it good? Our hair, okay?
The guy behind the scenes.
Yeah or no? He looks iffy.
It's better than last week.
Okay. Good then.
So
Right.
we want to discuss the how to plan an AFK study schedule.
Oh, okay. Well, it depends.
We could say two things. I think you could talk about how you did it and what you would recommend for people to do ideally. You want to go first?
Sure. I can.
How about how you planned your AFK study schedule?
How I would?
No,
Oh, how
how
did
it
I?
went for you.
Okay. So for me, right. It was complicated because I have children, as you know. So
And a
limited
lot of people
time.
taking the AFK are in the same situation.
Yes,
So
yes. So
they want to hear
yeah.
that.
Hopefully they will relate to this. So when you have children,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll know, you have limited time, right? So what I did was I tried to wake up an hour before the children woke up. I would get like an hour in of studies. Then when my youngest was napping, I would try to get another hour in. And after they were all in bed, I'd get at least two, but usually I'd go like for 3-4 hours. So I'd say an average of like 4 or 5 hours
A day?
a day.
But
yeah.
like kind of dispersed around.
Yes.
Yeah, so you were like 4 hours, but you're talking about watching videos.
Yeah. the
What about
lectures.
sitting down with the books and study? Did you have any time dedicated for that?
Yeah, so I would do that in the weekends, like after the live session and then Sunday. Because during the week, usually with those 3 to 5 hours, I could only get through the lectures. Like there wasn't like any time left
Yeah.
to review. So the review was always happening in the weekends, mostly.
So then watching the videos, you didn't rewind much then, maybe? Like you were able to get, or did you rewind a lot? Or
In the beginning, I did.
yeah, and then you
Like
learned.
that's just me. Like if I didn't understand something, I noticed that I was like rewinding a little too much, just to try and understand. But
Oh yeah, that's a common issue with like
I
people
guess,
starting
yeah.
online.
Yeah, you're like adjusting to it.
Yeah.
But I noticed that if I kept doing that, I wasn't gonna get through the content. So
Yeah. And I would we'd always try to recommend to people, oh, okay, try to get through it first. Then
Yeah.
unless you really need to rewind.
then if you have extra time, you can
Yeah. So back to like, okay, so if you're, because people always ask like, okay, how do I study? What's the schedule? Give me a study plan, right? They're planning an AFK, they're taking the AFK exam, they're planning an AFK study schedule. And for me, for example, when I do this stuff, I just don't have a schedule. I don't like using, how many hours am I supposed to study a day? Because
Right.
I get asked that question. Do you
like
get,
how many hours do I need? Yes, like during consults.
yes,
How many hours do I need to dedicate for the course? It depends.
depends on you. How fast are you
depends.
comprehending?
Exactly.
How strong are you at like memorizing? So for me, I don't use schedule. Like I don't have, I need to study these 4 hours. I take a break this hour. I need to study these 3 hours. I've never done that. And for me, it just feels like there's time you're wasting planning that. And I don't think it goes according to plan. Because
That is true.
when you're taking
I
the
mean-
break, you might feel energetic. When you're planning to study, you might feel tired. Like it doesn't work for me. So I plan it based on a calendar. So I actually draw my own calendar. I don't know.
So you did spend some time planning it.
Once.
Okay. yeah,
Once.
right.
Okay. But it's like, I don't know why I draw. I don't know how to use an actual calendar. It just has to fit. So I kind of draw my own calendar, get a ruler, and I know how many days I have. And then I go, okay, pharma is going to take me this many days. So I break it down to subtopics. I have to finish cholinergic. Let's say
Right.
pharma is general principles, cholinergic, adrenergic. So I go like general principles on this day, cholinergic day 2,
Okay. So
adrenergic day
by
3.
topics.
That's it. And it's open,
But how did you know that you were going to go through everything within, what, was it a year? Or
Oh,
when you create your calendar. Like,
So these schedules, I kind of create one, like when I'm preparing for an exam, I'm coming up close. That's like my review schedule. During the year
Okay.
is a little bit different, I guess.
yeah, so that's what I was wondering. Like
That's
during
different.
the year, like
Yeah.
not the review period only, just like the whole
Like during the
preparation.
first time studying. Yes, that time when I did it was Well, I kind of did the same thing. What I did was I did one card from each deck, from each subject, and there's no time limit. I just have to do it. So if I yeah,
One card a day?
from each deck subject. So for example, one card from Perio,
Oh,
one
okay.
card from Resto, one card from Prosto. So it would be like around 8 to 10 cards, and I'll just
day.
go through them per day,
Okay.
and I'll just keep going doing
Regardless, like, you just had to finish the
that.
10.
If I finish early, I
Okay.
get time off.
Okay.
If I don't finish early and I feel like I want
You have to extend like your
then I
session.
just stay up,
Yeah.
or then sometimes I do fail, and then the next day I kind of compensate. But yeah, that I never had like set hours. I had objectives. That's how I did it. And then if I'm behind, I'm behind. If I try to compensate.
See, that's why it's so difficult to like advise people on how to create their schedules, because everybody's different, right? So for you, it was easier to, go through like by your goals, like that day, 10 cards. And for me, like I felt like I needed to know like a minimum amount of hours that I would dedicate, so that I would, be able to complete the course, not the review period, just the course in general.
The initial like discovery.
Yeah,
You're discovering
of
what to
every
study.
topic, yeah.
So maybe it's
Yeah.
important when you're taking the course to know this information, because you want to know what the course requires of you, versus if you're studying, like when I was studying the decks on my own, I was just kind of discovering. So I thought, let me put a goal and then tweak it after that to see like is it accomplishable or not, right?
Right.
So do we want to talk, let's say, like specifically the AFK course, the Scholars Dental AFK course? How would you, let's say now you discussed what you did, how would you have planned it if it was an ideal scenario?
Ideal scenario, if I had a lot of time. I think,
Sorry, just
I would-
so that would
yeah,
be
yeah,
for
go ahead.
someone that's like full-time studying.
yeah, so that's
Yeah.
like ideal scenario.
Those exist, those people.
Yeah, those people exist. But yeah, I think I would follow the structure of the AFK course. Because like I cannot understand, like comprehend how you went through like 10 cards. So like from like different subjects in a day.
Doesn't mean it was the best plan. It's just the plan I put.
That was yours, but it worked. I mean,
You put the plan, you go through it, and
Yeah.
then it's more, I think the seriousness is the plan toward the exam at the end. But it kind of worked, yeah, because at the end of the day,
It worked.
well, it worked because I
passed.
passed. I got it. Yeah, but
you passed with a 91 score. 91, was it?
91. Yeah, but I think it took me 7 months to finish the decks
It's
the first time.
That's good. The first time. Okay.
The first time. And then like I ended up reviewing it 4 or 5. I think my final review 4 times. But going back to the schedule, then I was loosely kind of studying because I had a year and I knew I didn't want to fatigue myself. And I kept, what I did if I had a year is I kept the dental decks for the weekdays, and then on Saturday I would do a textbook day.
Okay.
The reason I did textbook day is that even though I don't recommend our students now doing any textbook days, but the reason I did it is because I wanted to actually learn, like I had objectives to learn. I wanted to learn everything about that topic. So I already went through oral medicine and endo textbooks when I was back home in Syria. Then here, while I was studying, I wanted to go through perio and occlusion. And finish my endo. And the was really targeted. I already understood why I needed to learn. So I was like, I want to learn the diseases of perio,
Okay.
and then how to diagnose and how to treat. And I summarized, and I skipped all the things that are like, there's some chapters in Carenza, there's like,
Yeah. Yeah, you don't
like,
need
like
the entire.
very like biological. I'm like, what is, so that's what I did.
So
And
it
Sunday I
was
took
like-
off.
Oh, you had Sundays off?
Well, I had a year,
Oh, you
so I
had
didn't
a
want to
year,
yeah. I tried working, and when I was working, it was, I was still trying to do that. And when I didn't work, I just thought, I'm just going to focus on studying.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think like I would go through it just like the AFK course is designed, because it just made like, I feel like it made it easier for me to understand, because it felt like the knowledge was being built, like one thing led to another in
Yes.
a way that it was just like, it made all the sense.
So that's exactly how we have the course curriculum.
That was your plan?
And well, yes, the plan of the
Good.
AFK course is planned exactly like things to trickle in the right time.
I think it really works.
But now let's dive like on a, because people probably want to know, okay, I'm following the course, but still, what does that mean per day? And even though we have a study guide, they want to know how many hours. So you're saying for you, 4 hours is enough. But now, in an ideal scenario, how much would you have put in a day?
Oh yeah, back to this.
Yeah.
If I could, I would have put at least 8 hours. I would have done 8 hours a day.
Okay, so 8 hours is a good amount. And how would you have scheduled it in terms of each week? Like, would you have watched the videos first, then studied the book? Would you have, like, let's say you tried to finish the videos on Thursday.
I would try to follow the schedule that the course like provides, like the
study guide we have. Yeah.
And then if I didn't understand something, I could go back and rewatch. I could study through the book. Like, you would have more time. I would do notes. Like, that's usually how I used to study. Like before I had children. I love taking notes, like just writing things like on my own.
Do you do notes from so when I did notes from the first read, I think I mentioned this before, that I ended up transferring everything.
Yeah,
so that's why
that's how I do it.
I tell people, like, maybe don't do notes on your first read, maybe on the second. Like, but I haven't actually tried that.
Yeah, especially because most people in the course, they don't have all the time in the world. Most people are working or have kids or both. So I guess, for them, don't take notes. Like, you don't need to,
Highlight, underline,
maybe,
cross out,
short notes.
Yes,
it's fine. But if I had all the time in the world, I would take notes, just like you did. Like, basically,
define take notes, I guess, so that we're on the same page.
Which one?
So when you say take, okay, so if you're talking about taking notes, what I mean by what I would do as taking notes is what I actually do is adding like description to words in the book. Like, I might.
That's the short notes.
I might circle something and go like, oh, this means this,
or
and I get that.
Remember this.
This is. I think that's necessary. You should do that.
Yes,
but you're not taking notes on a different piece of paper.
Exactly.
Are you?
I did.
You did
in the course. Yeah.
Not
so you did. In my first, not the first time I was watching the lectures,
Yeah.
but during the review period. Then I took notes.
Okay.
I felt like it really helps me to retain. So
what do you define? Like, do you do these notes based on what you think is important or the things that you hate, so that you want to like write them out and kind of like?
So during the review period, I try to review most subjects, but I took notes. Like, I wrote things down for the subjects that I thought were more like heavier or like more important for the exam. So pharmapathology.
So
again,
things that bothered you.
Pharmapathology. They don't like. I love those.
But okay.
I love those. But there is a lot
things
of
to review.
Details, things to review, and even ortho. I took ortho notes, even though I am an ortho.
Yeah.
I was rewatching the ortho lectures and taking notes as well.
For sure. So
I'm a great student, right? Right? Thumbs up from Omar.
Yeah. So the notes. Okay. So. Now so what we gave is that the study kind of schedule for people in our scholars program, but now if students in our program don't need to really create a schedule because they're following our guide, but they always have then a question, how do we create a schedule? Let's say now talk about the pre-exam schedule. Like, when we're getting closer to the exam, how do I create a schedule? Which is more personal to each person. So. Like, I think that's where my concept fits in with the calendar. More, because I would go, pharma, 7 days, the topic, 1 day catch up in case. I always do that. Patho, 3 days, topic. It's kind of like a game. Does it fit in this calendar to the exam day? And then I try to tweak things. Okay, maybe if it fits, it works. Okay, good. And then I just see what happens, because you have to like see what happens. You might not, you might be behind. So I don't use like an hourly thing on day, just like I said, topic per day. One strategy I do use toward the AFK exam, or I did, was kind of like a forward then backward strategy. So, so like, do you remember I talked about it? Yeah. So first I start from the beginning, like basic science, all the way to let's give them numbers, topic 1 to 10.
Yeah.
I do that. Then I start from topic 10 to 1 toward the exam. Because that way I'm just reviewing the last topic, which makes it a bit easier.
Yeah.
First, and then the most important topic is being closer to the exam, and by that point I left pharma and patho.
Yeah.
So
I like that, but you did have more time.
Yes, I did have more time.
So
yeah, of course.
If we're thinking about our students, I don't think in the 6 months course, I don't think we have enough time to go,
forward. Yeah.
Forward and
fair.
backwards.
But that's what I mean. Like it's personal to everyone. So
Yeah, some people might have more hours, right? So for those people, this is a good, tip, right?
it's similar. It's just a matter of how long that duration is. Is it a month? Is it 2 months? Is it 3 months? Right. So based on the planning a schedule, I'm just I guess I'm just putting out there that I don't have this hourly per day system at all. Just this topic, this day, I finish early. I get to hang out.
I think you get to relax.
Do my other objectives. If I don't finish, then I'm behind. So
Right.
I don't want to say I get to relax because there's probably other things to do, or maybe I catch up on tomorrow's stuff. That's maybe another way. But yes, I get that. That's my experience, and you have to always have the.
Yeah.
Most people have they need to know hours per day. So
They need to, but I think it's important to explain this to them because it's not just about the hours, like you're saying. Like you need to have a goal so that you go through the entire or most of the material.
yeah.
So it's good that you explained your way of doing it because I was thinking more about the initial contact with the material.
Like when you started
Like during the
beginning.
course. Yeah,
During the course.
just
So
started.
someone taking the course and how they would schedule. Yeah. And
So during review, I was doing more hours.
you were doing so you're saying okay, during the actual course you did maybe 4 to 5 a day.
Yeah. For the
Ideally you suggest 8 if you had the time to do 8. But it's doable with 4 and 5.
it is doable. I passed.
Right?
So
Yes, of course. So you do 4 to 5 a day. You were able to finish the module by what day?
So like the study guide would always suggest like 1 to 2 days, I think.
Per 1 to 2 days per
Yeah, I guess.
per day. So like
No, 1 to 2 days to finish the lectures.
yes.
I think so.
2 to
Most
4
of
days.
them.
No, to finish all the videos.
Oh yeah, it was 2 to
days.
4.
Yeah.
I always finished at the 4th day
4th day.
or 5th. So
Or 5th. So-
sometimes until Friday, I was still watching like
Okay.
lectures.
And that's with 5. That's good. So you're able
Yeah.
to do 4 or 5 hours and finish the 5 days, which is fair.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday there's live session, and then review
Okay.
throughout the weekend. Like I would do more hours in the weekend because I had more help.
I think that's the key. Like, what's the review like? Are you reviewing the
Okay.
videos? Are you reviewing the book? Are you reviewing what you want to review? How
Mostly
do you?
the book then,
So you start from
not the
explain.
questions. Yeah. From what?
Explain. Like, how do you review the book?
Reviewing the book. There's just reading, like going
Yeah.
through. Let's say basic science was the trickiest one because it's like
A lot.
a long book, right? It's I guess the thickest book we have. Is it? No, not even the thickest, but it's like
No, yeah.
entirely just
One module.
yeah, the one module. That
The
was
most condensed
trickiest.
in a module, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is a lot. Like it is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's heavier, but I still managed to do it.
The
Just
book is heavier, or
It's way heavier than the others.
you mean the content? I guess.
The content. Yes, the
I'm
content.
like, wait a minute. The
doctor.
pharma book is heavier.
Yeah. No, it is. Yeah, the farm
Yeah.
is the heaviest.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so it was trickiest. Also because like you're just starting the course, so you're kind of still like getting like adapted to the new routine to studying.
Yeah.
So I think in the beginning I did take longer to like go through and read the book,
Mm-hmm.
and just study in general. But I did manage to finish the book. Like just read the book. Just go through it, not like over read. Like there's nothing, you just watch the lecture, so you just read it again. That's
Mm-hmm.
my review.
And do you cross out at that point, or do you
I
not?
never crossed out the books. Remember?
Okay, you never crossed out. Okay.
Yeah, I crossed out questions,
Okay.
but
Yeah. Oh yeah. So where does the questions fall in here? All right, so you're doing
so
the
first
book.
week nothing. Like I didn't go through the questions again because I tend to memorize like the mistakes that I made. So if I went through the questions again that I just like solved,
It's
like
too
it's
easy.
I don't think it's
cheating.
fair.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cheating.
it's
like you
cheating.
feel like you have to keep it.
I have
put
to
a
like
distance.
forget a little bit and then okay, let's check these again. Then I,
Yeah.
go through the questions again.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I crossed out. And so after I guess a couple modules, I went back to the basic science questions.
Okay. And do you remember like which module was enough to go back? Like when you start back. from
Break
the-
week?
Break
No,
week,
so
yeah.
it was before the break week when I started going back to check the questions. So I think pathology was the third.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like
So around after
a month later,
Yeah, I'm like going
Like,
back,
yeah.
checking the basic science questions and so on.
or
Like
3
the-
weeks later. Pharma's 2
The
weeks.
pharma
Patho
took
is 1 to
pharma took
2
a little bit
weeks.
longer because it's more questions.
Yeah.
It's heavier. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
It's the heaviest book.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty much the AFK schedule kind of
I guess,
planning.
Yeah.
Any other tips about the AFK
For the review?
schedules for NDEB exams in general? Or I would follow it like I would always just like do chunks per, like an objective per day. That's my
I think
method.
Yeah, I think it's a better way of seeing it instead of the hours. Like, how many hours do I need to review?
Yeah.
Go by topics. I think it's
So
better to
you've
envision.
never had a schedule where it's like I wake up this time, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do
No, but some people do like have
Yeah.
their schedules like planned out like perfectly like that, and it works for them, which
Yeah.
is great. We just have a video out today about someone who has a schedule that's amazing. Like, it looks great. They passed. So
What video?
on Instagram,
Oh,
one of our students
yes.
talking about a day in the life of an AFK student. So
Oh, yes. That
so she
video,
shares a little bit about her
I didn't
schedule.
know it was today. I got to check it out.
It was posted like 10, 20 minutes ago, I guess, before we started.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it looks different for everyone.
Of
but
course,
I guess
that's the thing.
Yeah, but I guess
And
it's
that's
good
why
to
doing
have the goals.
consults helps, because like we
Yeah.
we kind of try to see what your your situation is, what works
Yeah.
for you, but it's very personal. But at least having that objective of what you need to do on a daily basis, weekly basis, is the overall thing, and then the mini how to do it really comes down to how you want to do it.
Yeah. And what everyone's capable of doing, right? Because, like I said, like some people might take a little bit longer to review or to read, or
Exactly.
So it depends. But yeah, it's good that now we have a student guide in the WhatsApp group. Me.
Yeah. Yes. No, it's very
Because,
helpful for sure.
no,
Like the
because
benefit of that is so good.
I get a lot of questions from people like, how did you study? Like, how can I create a schedule? And then I explain to them, I talk to them a little bit about like their situations to kind of help them build a schedule. But it all comes down to like they'll figure it out. You just give them like a little structure based on their situation, and
Yes.
they figure out a way that works
They'll
best
fall
for
into
them.
the right place and figure it out.
And it really helps.
And how about so you're helping students with that? And how about in consults? Like when people ask you during a consult, it's then like you don't know much about them.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to figure out how they're, I usually just talk to them about the guide. What do you do in that case? And they ask you in the consult
In the
about the
consult?
hours and the schedule, like how they study.
I just give them a general idea. I kind of share my story. I also share that, for some people it might look different. Some people do it this way, that way. You can also, like, once you start the course, you can talk to the student guide, me again. I'll know more about you, and I will help you in, I guess, a deeper level. I can try and help them more. But I just give them a general idea, just because it's good. Like, that's what they want to know. Right?
Yeah.
They want to know, like, okay, how many hours do I need to dedicate for the course? It's like a general question. It's not how is my schedule going to look like.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, just give them a general idea,
And they'll be for sure.
yeah.
All right. Well, I think we covered that. Should we? Are we good then?
Grab another coffee.
Grab another coffee. Let's talk about something else.
Right.
I think we're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.